So here's a demo on using the VLOOKUP function in Excel, and we'll compare why you do want to use it versus why you don't, and all that other sort of stuff. So first we'll take a look at an example of where they're not using it. So for example, we've got a person who's got, let's look at CC bond, and what they have done here is they've said 602 because they have manually gone in and said, oh, a CC is 602. So over here they decided, oh, this was 602, and they actually typed in 602. They could have accidentally typed in 603, but of course they typed in 602, doesn't matter. The point is they typed in 602. And over here they put in CO, and they manually typed in 799 because they looked here and found this. And that's not the way you do it. Here's a better way to do it. Here, instead of typing 835, I'm going to tell the computer to look up that value. What value? This value. So I'm going to go click. So I want this to be equal to, and I go VLOOKUP. And we'll go open bracket. Now we're going to pay attention to the wizard or the advice thing, and we're looking here where it says in bold lookup value. In other words, what do you want me to look for? And I want you to look for click, whatever's in here. So click. That might change. So whatever I put in there, go look it up. And then as soon as I hit comma, you're going to see the wizard change its bolding. So I'll hit comma, and then it says, where do you want me to look? Well, what I'd want you to do is I want you to look in this whole area right in here. And notice incidentally that it says Fred, and that's because I've named that box Fred. And now I'm going to hit comma, and you're looking at the wizard again, and I hit comma, and it says column index number. Well, when I find what I'm looking for, I want whatever is in column 2. So I'm going to hit 2. And then I'm going to close this with the close bracket. And I'm going to close that off. And now we're going to go back to here where we were looking. Notice that it says 835. And I'm going to click up here where it says 799. And now I'm going to click below. It doesn't say 835. It says 799. This says 602. This says 835. But it's telling the computer to look up for whatever is in A11, or sorry, A11, and give me 2 columns over. So what happens if I type in this type of bond, CCC? What's going to happen over here? This cell is going to look for CCC, and then it's going to return whatever is 2 columns over. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, enter, 1, 2, 3, enter. And notice that it says 602 because we told the computer, you go look up whatever is there and return second column over. Now I'm just going to experiment with this Fred thing here for a moment, and I'm going to do so by doing a variation of that particular lookup, because you really want to name your data tables. And I'm going to show you an example of what happens if you don't name a data table. If we click here, and let's say we have a data table, I don't know, let's tell the computer to look in here, for example. So let's go back here, and we'll say equals VLOOKUP. And as I said before, we're going to look here, comma, but we're going to look just in this section right in here, for example. I'll let go, hit comma, and then ask for column 2, and do this. Everything's still working, but notice the difference between this, and you're paying attention up in here. So this, I named the table Fred, and this, which is saying look between A1 and B16. Well, there's a problem with that, because if I copy this and paste it down to here, look at the difference. here it's looking for A1 to B16. Now it's looking between A2 and B17. And if I copy that idea again, and again, and again, you should be able to see that as I click down here, as you're looking up in the coding area, you can see that where it's looking is changing. It's dropping. The first time it's looking in here, and then the next time it's looking in here, and then the next time it's looking in here, and the next time it's looking in here, and the next time it's looking in here, etc., etc. And we always want to look in exactly the same area. So the advantage of naming a box is that you can copy and paste without that problem. It's called absolute and relative addressing if you want to get picky. Anyway, so let's try this again. We're exploring the VLOOKUP function, and here comes the summary. So let me just undo a few things here. Alright, so here comes the summary. I don't want to manually have to type in 358. I don't want to look up the data table. I've already built the data table. Make the computer do it. So I'm going to name this box right here something I like. I could call it enthalpy table or something. I called it Fred. And if you look in the upper left, when I let go, you'll see that I've named it Fred. I could name this portion right here. I could highlight this portion and name that portion Joe. And so if I go from here to here and let go, you'll see in the upper left it says, oh, that section's called Joe. This section isn't called anything, and this whole box here is called Fred. So over here, I'm going to say, alright, instead of typing in typing in 346, I'm going to say, computer, you go look it up. You go look up for this, comma, and you go look up in Fred, and I can even just type Fred in, because I know that's what I named it, and give me whatever is in the second column. And it says, there you go. Benefit of that is, when I change this, let's say I change it to this, automatically changes. So that's the VLOOKUP function.